Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely morning in which the Most High, a higher has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. Just coming with a little something. I want to say to you all out there to really be very cautious in the way. And when I say cautious, I mean cautious in the flesh. Because I'm going to tell you, in the spirit, you can walk in light and in spirit and truth. But what you're going to come up on in the flesh is off the chain. It is off the chain. And you start, what people are doing, people are not reporting to one another about the change in which they see, in which they hear. Why? Because everybody want to make it a shh sort of thing. And that's when you hide the prophecies. You can just be quiet and be humble in the midst of the prophecy. It still will not stop hinder the prophecy from coming to pass. When you behold the prophecy and you see the prophecy for what it is in spirit and truth, speak on it. Say that this is the day in which the Most High had spoken about. These are the things in which was prophesied of the prophets. But what people are doing is they keep it silent on everything. No one wants to talk. No one wants to discuss. No one even wants to mention the prophecies. And that's why I keep seeing these prophecies come to pass and wonder why ain't nobody saying nothing. It's because everybody want to live this humble flesh life. And they don't understand when the Father has suffered something to come forth to inform you ahead of time. That's a blessing on your behalf. To know that your Father is walking this earth up and down toward his will. But what we want to do, we want to go around and pretend these things are not actually happening that has been prophesied. I sit back and I think, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I just decided to turn on the TV because I couldn't sleep, because I was just thinking about what happened to my nephew and all the things that took place and how, really I was kind of shaken up to the fact that I keep feeling that I saw what happened to him ahead of time. And it's no doubt I did. I had. And didn't say anything. Because I'm dealing with this thing of being told by the Father and being revealed things. And the things are so powerful, you're more afraid to even speak it because it's calling it out. It's calling it out. So I woke up this morning at 4 and I tossed and turned and I said, you know what, I'm gonna get up and watch the television, and turned it on, and I heard this one man talking about the 5 policemen that had beat this one guy. And I realized that those are the pictures I keep seeing on YouTube of these 5 cops in their uniform with a flag. Do you see how they're using them as an example of what this country is really built up on? Wicked and evil. Now, you don't put it up there like that when you're doing the heathens and the Gentiles. But here these black men, should it be put up there like that? Yes. But it's not just when they do it. It's when you all do it as well. But see, this is how the cover up is. And it's really not a cover up. See, one thing I want to say to you all that think that you are the Israelites in the tribe of Judah. One thing you must understand. The heathens and the Gentiles don't have to cover up anything. They don't have to hide anything, and they don't have to cover up anything. They were created for this day in which you are in, and the day 400 years and something, to wear your tail out. Okay? To give you your punishment out of the mighty right hand of the Father. So they don't have to hide and make it how would I say it, cover it under the rug when they do their crime. And that's why Sister Deborah don't go over on their end. Sister Deborah don't go over on the Gentiles and the heathens end when they doing wrong, because Ahia done showed me the clearer picture. He done showed me the clearer picture. And this is where you have people who can see spiritual and natural. And then you have those who can only see natural. Now that's about 98% of the tribe of Judah. They can see natural. They can't see no spirit. They don't know no spirit and truth, and they can't see anything spirit. They don't even have the light to see in darkness. But because I say that I have that ability, then this is what is to be in the midst of those who serve, or servants of the Most High. Somebody like unto Deborah and others that he have called to be in the midst of those who are serving spirit and truth, those who are in the light. Somebody like Sister Deborah is called to be in the midst of stuff like that, so she can tell you what is and what is not. She has to. I have the discerning spirit. Okay, I have the interpretation of tongues. Okay, I have the power to heal. Okay, I have a lot of gifts to know. I can discern the eyes. The eyes tells many things. You can have many discerning spirits all wrapped into one spirit. See, people think discerning spirit is when you're able to discern good and evil. No, it goes way beyond that. He showed me I can discern arms, like left and right arm, and I can discern the eyes. Yes. So therefore, it's just like the tongues. A lot of people don't understand. When you in the church, the reason why you need to interpret it, and that's something else I can do. I can interpret the tongue. When you go into the church and you hear people speaking in tongue, all of them are not the same tongue. So the Father has to teach you which tongue is which, so you can be able to identify the tongue. When that's how discerning is, the gift of discerning. You can discern people not just by their eyes or by the gift of discerning. You can discern them every way the Father has taught you how to discern people. He's given me the eyes, the eyes and the arm, and discern their spirits. You see what I'm saying? That's a blessing. These things you don't know of yourself. These are the things only the Father himself can give you. Sister, this is not something Sister Deborah know of herself. So therefore, somebody like Sister Deborah needs to be in the midst of any place that calls themselves being servants of the Most High, higher, and has come together as a group. Okay? Because I can discern. And when you have somebody in there that discern, it can tell you where a level of a spirit of a person is at, to where you don't have to put them out, because you have to know where they are at. And how he done that with, how he given me that is, when I had children, I had to meet them where they at, not where I'm at, with my wisdom and knowledge and my understanding. I had to meet them where they at, and wherever they were at, I bring in my spirit and truth. You see what I'm saying? See, a lot of people think you can judge people and you can just know where everybody is and where everybody's going and who's who and who's who. That's not how the gifts of the Most High works. There are people putting people out of their church, out of their group, out of their camps, and they are the true anointed, appointed ones that needs to be in the midst of them. But because you don't have no one there to tell you what spirit that individual really is, who this spirit is, and who this spirit is going to be, because you don't want what the Father has called to be the servants in the midst. You want who you want. That's why the Father had chose the 12, and he knew which one he gave him. How would I say it? A dark bowl. He gave him 12 bowls, and one of them was dark. And even though one of them was dark, what did Yeshua say? All that thou hast given me, I have not lost one. But I like what Yeshua was saying, because he's saying that all that you from the heavens has given me, I have not lost one. Why? Because you can't lose those that are higher put in the midst of you. They're going to be forever in the midst of you. That's because, not because they like what you said, they like what they hear, they like, no, a higher, the most high, a higher, put them in the midst of you. Because he knows who you are and he knows who they are. And see, this is where you know that a lot of these churches, these camps, these academies, and all these different groups that call themselves forming, trying to worship the most higher, they are Satan. They got Satan bound in them, because they're about their flesh, and they worship the power of their flesh, the authority of their flesh, the righteousness of their flesh, the wisdom of their flesh, the knowledge of their flesh, the understanding of their flesh, the personal opinion of their flesh. And they get their flesh caught up in the book and have no spirit and truth. They have no spirit and truth, none whatsoever. Because they caught up from the flow up in their flesh, thinking their flesh is going to override spirit and truth, and it cannot. So all these gifts that he has put upon me, it's a blessing to be able to be living just in the land of living, in the land of living right now, because you can see those gifts being manifest and used in such a dark hour as this. The reason why it's important for Deborah to be in the midst of individuals who have churches and who have communities and who have these things, camps, and who have these groups, is because the light has to be in the midst. He said when there's two or more joined together in his name. And what he's saying, the two or more in him. See, a lot of us think because they in our group, okay, they are of a higher. You see, they think because we got a million members that we worship the one light. No, only one can divide that light and tell you who's who is the light that a higher sin in his servants, the prophets. And let me tell you what I was thinking a little while ago. It hurt me to see my nephew go through what he went through and suffer what he's suffering now. But I think about who the Father sent to help him, because someone hit and run, hit his truck, and his truck hit him. Okay? Had not a higher son this female to call the ambulance and be there with him and help him, then he would have been out in no man's land, sitting there, probably hurting out of pain, going into a coma, and just suffering out there. But because Ahaya said, wait a minute, mine is down, send that angel there. Even the one who hit him and also saw him telling him, stop, don't hit you. He hit him while he was outside his truck and ran. What it's showing me is that people are not, they don't value light itself. They don't care what nationality you are, who you are. It's not, things are not just going on in the tribe of Judah, okay? Things are also going on with the heathens and the Gentiles. But there's a more in great number because it's more of them. But since it's less of us, we are destroying our less. So it makes it look like we're destroying only what we have. They got many. So it don't look like they're destroying theirs. But we are. It's so many other cases I've seen this week alone of heathens killing theirs, just like we as the tribe of Judah are killing our people. Same way. It's not, let me tell y'all why this is happening and why the tribe of Judah has lost their mind and they are in a 100% total mental state. I know it. You all can run around here and try to paint the picture pretty for your nation. Your nation ain't showed you nothing in their community, in their schools, in their academies, in their camps, in their nothing to tell you that they are worth investing anything in. I wouldn't invest nothing in these heathens. In these Gentiles. I wouldn't invest nothing in the heathens either. But I definitely wouldn't invest nothing in my people. I will not invest nothing in the tribe of Judah. Nothing. Outside of spirit and truth and the light. That's it. I can't offer the tribe of Judah nothing. That's how far gone they are. I know that they're gone because Deuteronomy 28 said you ain't getting out of this land until you are gone. You'll go two ways, mental and physical. You're going to be gone. So you can paint the picture and lie to these people in these churches and in these camps and these academies. You can lie to them to make them think that they all that and some and y'all finna take them somewhere. Only place he's gonna allow you to be taken is mentally destroyed and physically. Isaiah chapter 3 verse 25. He told you men, I'm gonna show you. It's no more time to play with you. Isaiah, Ezekiel, and Jeremiah bagged that Deuteronomy 20 up and down you, and you haven't paid no attention to it all the way into the 2023. You have ignored it all. Now it has to work itself out. It has to be revealed and identified to you because you have failed as he knew that you would. That's why he kept you in the curse, coming in and going out. So you, even when you go out of this land, you're still gonna be in the curse. Only time you're gonna come out of the curse is when he gets you to the promised land and clean your butt up. So as I'm listening to this man at 4 a.m. talk about how it hurt him to see those 5 men beat that one guy down like that, all due to a traffic ticket. And they were what you call Negroes. I just say it like that. Now, what people don't understand, and this old head that's talking like it, how it hurt him, and he cried. I'm like saying, where have you been? I don't get people, and it's not meant for me to get them. Where have you been? They've been killing like this off the chain, and in the last 2 and 3 years, it has been totally uncontrollable. They're killing their women. How you gonna kill what a higher place down here to bring forth the nation? You killed and then you holler about abortion. How can a Negro talk about abortion? How can you say abortion? Why? Because you're so geared to try to degrade and low a woman back under your feet like she has always been. But the Father wants you to know her being under your feet caused you to do what he's able to prophesy today. A world that's out of order. And she is never going to be blamed. The Father say it's you going to be blamed like you was in the garden. But this time you ain't going to be blamed. You're not going to be blameless. You're not going to walk out of it saying that woman. The Father said you ain't getting away with that. And that's what make these men holler, stand on mountaintops proclaiming the worst of wicked and evil and perpetual hate toward women. I got to keep talking about that, y'all, because I notice in the Bible, the Father does not leave anything there for you to really focus on a woman. And a lot of these ignorant women said he's talking about a man and a woman. Only when he's saying M-A-N, if he's just talking to that one. You still have to be able to rightly divide who is he talking to. You have to cover it. Stop trying to make everything he have said to men that he have said to woman. That's why in Genesis chapter 2 was missed. The perfect will was missed in chapter 2. It's because they didn't recognize the perfect will was given to Adam to not do this, and this. The first commandment and the first law wasn't given to a woman. It was given to him. And the reason why he created him first is to make sure we don't get them mixed up. We don't get them mixed up. So he won't be she and she won't be he. So he created him, the one he was his purpose to lead. He created him. He took the crown that Ahiah put on his head, put it on the ground, walked over it and looked over, and he beckoned to everything Satan said to woman. Now, what did the Father tell him? Don't entertain the tree of knowledge and good and evil. And when you do, Adam, this is the consequences. So even though Eve, it said, now this is how you got to be very careful. This is where you know spirit and truth. It said Eve entertained the knowledge of good and evil. And in Eve, in her way of communicating and entertaining the serpent, you have to look at what she was saying. Does it sound like something the Father said to Adam? No, it isn't. It's not the same words he said to Adam. So what was woman getting? The words she was pressing against the serpent, saying that he said we are not to eat of, nor touch, or take. See, they did not. It wasn't this or that in the garden. It was one thing. Eat. Now, if you were to take it and have it in your hand and throw it down, is that the same as eating? So what was Eve saying when she said, and he said not to take of it, not to eat of, nor take of it? No, that don't sound like the voice of the Most High schooling Adam in the garden. So somewhere the words that Eve received regarding what Ahiah said to Adam wasn't the same thing that Eve said to the serpent. So that's a question mark right there. You have to watch it and see by the Ruach HaKodesh teach you what was added out of the mouth of man versus what is out of the mouth of Yah. You have to really be careful with that. You have to really be careful. Most people aren't. They can't see it where man's flesh hands had smeared. They can't see it. They can't behold it because the only way you can see it is through the light. Only way you can hear it is through the spiritual ear. Only way you can see it is through the spiritual eye. Only way you're going to understand it is through the Ruach HaKodesh. And all this bull crap they teaching, you all, let me tell y'all something. It is fully Satan's flesh interpretation of any and everything. So I'm saying to you, man has never owned up since the book of Genesis. So when he came, he wasn't looking for Eve. Not because she was the woman and not because he was just a head. He knew whom he had spoken. The only law and commandment. He knew who he had spoken it to. So the world makes you think that, okay, it's about him and her. But the Father, throughout the whole book, with his finger signature, you can see only through the Ruach HaKodesh, or like I said, or through the light. Or you can hear it through the ear. When the spirit of the Ruach HaKodesh is teaching you, you can hear his voice, where you can understand spirit and truth. When these people now is teaching this book without this spirit and truth, they teaching this book out of their flesh, and a higher only allow them to get everything in the realm of their flesh according to the desire of their flesh. So therefore, they don't get spirit and truth. They don't get the light to sit in the midst of them, to teach them and lead them and guide them. They don't get those things. So they get what is given unto them from the Most High in their flesh. And that's what they run. That's what they run on with. And that's what they have always did. They take off running. Oh, I'm a pastor. I'm a prophet. I'm a prophetess. I'm a apostle. I'm a leader. I'm a ruler. I'm a king. All these things you cannot be when you are in prison. You're in captive, you guys. You're in prison. So you can't be all of these over a multitude of people. Why? You got to be able to recognize that you're in captivity. You got to know the end game of Deuteronomy 28 to its fullness. You got to salute it and stand in the midst of the Most High, our higher spirit, and let him anoint and appoint you to the order in which he has called you from heaven. These men don't wait on you know how the day of Pentecost in Acts, how they were singing and praising and waiting for the Ruach HaKodesh. These Negroes today, they ain't seen the Ruach HaKodesh. They ain't felt the Ruach HaKodesh. And what they don't know, the things in which they have felt is emotions. It's their flesh emotions and Satan's feelings. That's what they have. How you know that, Deborah? And why would you say that? That's how the Father taught me among the multitude. He taught me how to interpret tongues. So I have the spirit of interpreting tongues. And how he did it is to let me know when you're in the midst, you're going to always have flesh tongue, and you're going to always have the Satan's tongue in the midst of the Holy Spirit tongue. And it is so true. And then he taught me through the Spirit how they conduct themselves, how they sound, how they act, and what it sound like. So that's just like Sister Deborah seeing these churches, these camps, these academies, these families who even at home in families. And all these churches and these pastors and these apostles and these so-called prophets and these so-called prophetess, discern them, Deborah. Discern them. Try that spirit by the Spirit. I put too many, I invest too much in you. There's time I run to him and said, they saying this, and that ain't right. They saying this, and they saying this. That's not what you said. And he'll say, well, what are you doing? Are you trying it, Deborah? Try that spirit by the Spirit. Come on now, you got the discerning spirit. You knows what, you already know who they are. See, and that's why I don't let nobody tell me who people are. It's because it's greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. It's already given me the ability and the gift. It's like going to do plumbing and don't have no tools to work. Or going electrician, don't have the tools to do your work. A higher, when he sent his servants, he gives them the tools to work therein. So I'm not a dead prophet, I'm a living one. Only thing about it, I'm prophesying on you. And I'm a judge for your tale. And for you, do I judge. So it's nothing you can do about it. It's a sad thing how people have led the multitude. Ain't led them to nothing but darkness. And things which are darkened in their flesh. Do this, because this is and did you know that people who follow, how do you think all these churches came to be? Following that same book the Hebrew Israelite is following right here today. Ain't that deep? I want y'all to kind of think about that. Now digest that today. I'm coming back on at 7 p.m. live. At 7 p.m. Just digest that. The same Bible that the heathen's been using for thousands of years. I mean, hundreds of years. Hundreds and hundreds of years. The same book that you said that they gave you, and they took this out, they took this out. And all of those books, who you think had them created? Who you think had them printed? Who do you think? The same one that has you in captivity. But you're going by that same book that we complain about they gave us so we wouldn't know our history. So for us to know anything, we have to have a higher spirit to be the revealer of all things. He said that he will reveal and teach us all things. So if he's going to teach us all things, that's letting us know things we knew, things we didn't know. Things that was, things that is, and things that shall come. That's what revealing things come in, where he's going to reveal things to us, things, show us things to come. But we have not taken on that because we so busy being led by the flesh of man. Man hold that Bible up and he whoop you up and whoop you down, and you run around here with your tail between your legs, living the ways of the flesh of a man, and have not received the Ruach HaKodesh like until the day of Pentecost. You only receive what man has ushered to you to give you a good feeling. And that's what men look for, a good feeling. And that's what they're going to get, a good feeling. Because the Most High is not going to be partaker in your desire to feel good. He knows that leads up to wicked and evil. It has no good invested in it. It has no righteous. It has no spirit and truth. It has no light. It has nothing. So Sister Deborah is going to have to say, I will get back with you at 7 p.m. Central Time, and we're going to discuss some other things that is taking place in the world today, and what the Most High is saying unto us in this midnight hour. So I say unto you, shalom and shalom.